of them are there. So Jatin has also joined.
Why don't you start the meeting?
Sure.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, we will start off the meeting now. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining into this small training session for the LinkedIn Sales Navigator. My name is Raghav Basin. I work as a sales consultant for the LinkedIn Sales Solution business. Now, recently, the business has decided to get into a corporate partnership with LinkedIn for the Sales Navigator licenses that you have or have used in the past. So people who have used it in the past would be familiar with some of the features that are there on the platform. People who have not seen it so far will be able to see what this platform can do. In the course of this meeting, what we're going to cover is, first of all, I'll take you through how your Sales Navigator team licenses, which has been given to you, how that should be ideally used as a workflow. Secondly, we'll also cover the new features that have been added to your licenses, right? Thirdly, I'll speak about the in-mail parts, which is very critical of how you should draft in-mails, how you should send out. And fourthly, if you have any questions, open to answer them. Right, so I'm going to start sharing my screen now.
And Raghav, when we start talking about in-mail, we'd like to, I mean, the objective of this is, one is, of course, the features and flow, that's fine. But the real objective is how people can create maximum value out of this exercise, which is basically lead generation. So how do you elicit a successful desired response from a prospective and prospect? What are the correct norms that LinkedIn has seen across its various customers, especially B2B, where you've received a successful response outcome? And that's the objective, where if you have some guidance as to the best ways to draft an in-mail, specifically that elicits a response, what is the first type of response that should be elicited? Where have you guys seen success? The stuff that we all spoke about, that you and I spoke about.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. We'll cover all of that, and this training would be part of a series that we'll be doing. So over the next few months, also we'll keep on doing these check-ins so that we are able to track how you are trending and how you are able to get the value out of the platform. Right?
Perfect.
So I'm going to share my screen with you, and please let me know when you are able to see it. Can anybody confirm if they're able to see it?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Now, a quick word about LinkedIn.com and what Sales Navigator is. So, LinkedIn.com, as you know, it's the world's largest B2B professional network with more than 700 million members across the globe now. We have more than 55 million companies on the platform representing different industries. Sales Navigator is a platform which has been created for sales professionals like us, which basically covers the entire sales cycle that we do. Number one, it helps you to target the right companies and identify the decision makers in them. Number two, it helps you to understand your customers better, the companies that you're trying to prospect into better, the decision makers that you're trying to do. And number three is the engagement part of how do you engage with these people, right? Sales Navigator is an AI platform which continuously reads what you're trying to search and also gives you some recommended leads based on your activity on the platform. How you can start using Sales Navigator is very simple, and let me take you through how it generally works. I'm sure you must have tried it on your own, but let me also show you what more can you do from it, right? So with Sales Navigator, what you should do first is, if you are looking to find companies in certain geographies, the way you can start off is you can click on this All Filters tab, and it opens up certain boxes in front of you. Now, let's be familiar with these two terms. The first term is the lead filters search. Lead filters means finding people. So you and I are leads for LinkedIn. Account filter search is the companies that we represent. So I am Raghav, who is a lead. I work in a company called LinkedIn, which is an account. So if you're doing a lead search, it's for people, account search is for the company. Now, typically people start working through finding companies in the geographies that they venture into. So let's try and work out for your as well, right? So let me put in some geographies over here and help you find the right companies that you can go after. So I put in United States as a geography. Again, in United States, if you are selling into that region, you can put in city names also, so that you are able to get names of companies in those specific cities also, right? For now, I'm just putting up United States. You can put in any country that you are working in. Secondly is the industry part, because you sell to a very specific niche industry. So if anybody can be a volunteer and tell me a few industries where you are selling into specifically. Apparel and fashion is one. There's any other industry that you want to tell me?
No. That's for us.
That's it, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So the moment I put in United States as a geography and industry as apparel and fashion, we are seeing that there are 28,000 companies in that country, in that industry, that are present on the LinkedIn.com platform. When we scroll down, there are some more filters which are available with us, which can help us drill down further in our search. One of the common and the most widely used filters is the company headcount filter, which helps you identify if you want to reach to a small company, to a medium company, or an enterprise company. So in your case, do you bifurcate your findings in terms of that, or do you work with every company in that space?
Almost every.
Almost every. So let's not pick up anything, but if you are going to work on this in the future, and let's say for the next 2 months, you only want to work with the enterprises in that industry, you can use this filter to drill down further.
Yeah.
Right? Then again, some more filters are available which you can use, but the most popular ones are the ones that you just used for the geography and industry. The moment we click on the search part, it will open up the names of all these companies, the 28,000 companies that we were seeing as a search result, right? Let's get familiar with these spotlights at the top. The first spotlight is telling us that out of 28,000 companies, there are 135 new hires as senior leaders in these industries. So if you are trying to search for some very senior professionals and you find them that they've changed jobs, you can find it under this list. Second spotlight says that three firms out of these 28,000 firms have received funding in the past 12 months. So if you're looking to work with companies funded who would be more interested in doing business with you, you can also drill down from this. For now, I'll just stick on to the 28,000 search that has been done and show you the results. Now, once you've been able to find out the right companies for you, you want to save this search if this search fits your criteria. What you can do is you can click on this Save Search tab and give it a name. Let's say I'll just give it the name of World Fashion Exchange Demo. Okay. And I put the alert frequency as weekly or even daily also. And I save this search. Now, two things that will work in our favor if we save this search. Number one, if there are any new addition in these industries that come in the next 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, Sales Navigator will automatically keep on adding that search result, those companies in the search results. These saved searches are sitting right at the top of the screen, right? So if you go over here, I'll just show you how it will look like. So these are some of my saved searches. As you can see, there are some new addition to these searches which I've done. Sales Navigator has automatically picked up that I've saved this search. There are new addition of companies in these industries and they've added it to my list. So, and that frequency of alerts that it will show you that, okay, 10 new companies have been added, 5 new companies have been added, will automatically come to you as an email from Sales Navigator. So that's very important that you save the search. Once you find the people, once you find the companies that you want to work with, the next thing for you is to find the decision makers in these companies, correct? So you click on this lead results tab and it opens up the names and profiles of everybody working in these 28,000 companies who have a LinkedIn profile, right? It's very simple when you reach till here. The next part for you is to find the right people that you want to go after, the decision makers, influencers, evaluators, all of them. Because in a particular company, in a particular deal, there are so many people involved in that decision making committee, right? So it is important for you to find such people. How you can find it is there are 2-3 ways I can do it. Number one, you can do a function level search. In your case, it's going to be mostly the information technology department which takes the decision, right?
Right.
So you can put in information technology as a function and click on seniority level if you like to talk to the C-level people or VPs or directors, then you can pick it up from there. It will open up the profiles of people who hold these positions in the IT department in these 28,000 companies. This is one way to do it, right? The other way to do it, and which is the most recommended way of doing a search for people, is a title level search. So I'll just remove all these filters from here and then show you the title level search. Okay. So we are back to the original search. Now, if I am trying to find out people, exact people or profiles that I want to go after, I would do a title level search and find the chief information officer, the chief technology officer. Some companies have vice presidents of ITs. So you can put in that also. And you can put in head of IT, anything that you want. Basically, what we are trying to do is that we are trying to find the most relevant people from which you can work with, right? So you put in these CIO, CTO, and head of VP IT as titles. Now you're able to see that there are 110 people that have these titles in these companies that we are trying to work with. I'm going to take a pause here, right, and ask if there is any question. Please feel free to ask.
I think so far, Raghav, you've covered the pretty basic features that I think everyone actually is quite familiar with.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'd
Sure.
be interested in more of the advanced features and the way
Yes.
to gain the value out of the system. I think that's what people are looking forward to understanding.
Absolutely. So let's move
If
ahead.
there's some
Now,
advanced features that you haven't covered, that would be interesting.
yes, now we're going to take care of that. So these were, as Jatin said, that these were basic features to help you find the companies and the people in them. The next part for any salesperson is the most critical. That is that how do I prioritize out of this? Okay, 110 is a big list which I can work upon, but how do I prioritize? These spotlights at the top are your friends when it comes to prioritizing your outreach. The number one spotlight says that 4 people out of 110 has changed jobs in the past 90 days. Now, these spotlights have been created after a lot of research done with some market research giants like Gartner. And they told us that people who have recently changed jobs are the first ones who basically look to change a vendor or a process in a company. So if you are a salesperson and you have a list of people who have changed jobs in the past 90 days, that's the first list you should go after. So if I'm a salesperson in your team, this is the first uh, piece of 4 people where I would want to work with. Because statistically speaking, these are the people who talk to new people. So if you have to engage and have to prioritize, this is one list you can go after. Second thing that has been added to your Sales Navigator license is this new feature called the Team Link introduction. What Team Link means is now you will be able to see that how many people in your search results are connected to your LinkedIn profiles. Also, how many of them are also connected to people who are using Sales Navigator within the team. Okay. For example, Jason and I are third degree connections between us. So he and I are nowhere connected. But I can see that there are 8 people in LinkedIn or Microsoft using Sales Navigator who are also connected to Jason Black. And these are based out of the US and high chances that they might know him. So you can make use of these connections to try and reach out to him. I'm pretty sure you would have your own networks of connection on LinkedIn as well. So if there are some common shared connections between any of the senior people you're trying to reach out to and these people, you will be able to find them under this. Like Alan and me have 3 shared connections. So if I have to start my outreach and try and reach out to him, I can make use of any of these connections if they are very well connected to him. As you can see, George Arabian, he's the VP sales at Absolute Data Analytics, which is my customer. George knows me very well. And if he knows Alan and I can make a common connection between them, the chances for me to get a meeting through him would be much higher. Right? So this is a new addition that has happened in your Sales Navigator where you can make use of your own connection plus the connection of the people who are using Sales Navigator. The other spotlight, which is very important, is how many people have posted on the platform in the past 30 days. We will be covering emails and we will be covering how to send those email and LinkedIn messages a few minutes from now. If you get a list of people that, okay, out of 110, we have 10 people who have been active on the platform in the past 30 days, If you send them an email or an in-mail, the chances for you to get a response from them is higher, right? So again, if you are prioritizing a list for a particular day, what you can do is you can prioritize from any of these spotlights. Statistically speaking, the most important spotlights have been the people who have changed jobs in the past 90 days, team link introductions, and the people who have posted something on the platform in the past 30 days. My customers plus my own experience tells me that these are the people who are the most engaging people on the platform. And when we do an outreach to them, these are the people who respond back faster. Okay. Now, this is how you can prioritize. The other thing that you can do is that you should always create list of your exercise. For example, if I have to create a list of how many senior level professionals in the US in the fashion and apparel industries have changed jobs in the past 90 days, you can select them all from here and create a list out of this, right? You can just click on this, create a list and give it a name of demo WFS. Create and save. This list will fall under this tab on the top of it. So tomorrow, if you are looking to work with certain number of people only, if you have already created a list out of it, it helps you to become a smart worker through. Now, the next part for any person is, so far we've been able to find the companies, find the people in them, prioritize our activity. The third part which comes into the picture is the engagement part, right? So let's say I have to get in touch with Mr. Jason Black. Through Sales Navigator, I can open up his profile, right? When I scroll down, I will be able to see what he has done in his current company, where has he worked in the past. Secondly, on the right-hand side, I will be able to find more recommended leads in this company, Taylor Brands Incorporation. So that Sales Navigator is picking out leads as per my activity, and it's helping you find those decision makers, evaluators, influencers. That's the key to doing any sale, that you're able to find out that buying committee, right? Sales Navigator assists. Now comes the most interesting part, and that is the in-mail part. That when you have to send out an in-mail or a LinkedIn message to someone, how do you do it, and what are the things that you can cover in that? So when I click on this message part, it opens up this LinkedIn page or this LinkedIn in-mail box. Two things I want to tell you. The number of emails that you will have now has been increased from 20 to 30. So you get extra 10 emails every month per user. Secondly, I'll tell you a hack. For people who have an open button next to their names on Sales Navigator, if you send out an email to them, it is not counted as per the quota that you given. So if I send them an email, it will not be counted as the 30 that I get in a month. Now, how do we draft an email is very critical. Now, drafting an email requires a certain technique, right? It should not, first of all, it should not be a generic message. You cannot send out the same message to everyone. The message should be personalized, and it should be written in such a manner where it appeals to the person you have sent it out to. Let me share a template with you which will help you get more clarity out of it. So I'm going to stop sharing Sales Navigator and open a different document in front of you. Please let me know if you're able to see this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, this is a 4-step guide on how an effective email is drafted, right? There is a combination of art and science of how you should draft that email. The other critical part is, when do you send an email, right? So let's right now just cover the part of how you should draft it. As I said, there are 4 steps involved in drafting an email. The first thing is the subject line. The subject line, when you draft it, you should always use their first name and mention specific something about them. For example, if you are sending an email to me, right, you go to my Sales Navigator, you go to my LinkedIn profile, you see something interesting about me, maybe the college I've come from, maybe the experience I hold, maybe the promotions I've seen, something unique about me, or something I might have shared on linkedin.com that you can see from that, and draft it in accordingly. For example, you can write to me, Raghav, you have been promoted to sales manager senior position in the last month. Congratulations. Something of that sort, right? Or you can say that Raghav, we help companies derive X amount of revenue from our services and products, so that it catches my eye straight away. Now, the second part is the opening statement. Now it's time really to dig into that email and showcase what you can do. So if you are drafting an email to me and talking about what your product and service can help me do, so what you can do is mention that we have been working with companies in this space. This is how you've been able to derive value out of it. This is the ROI they've been able to get, right? Tell them about some of the customer that you have catered to, or maybe something that you have done unique in the industry that you want to showcase it with. The third thing is on the business statement of how you are reaching out to them and how you can catch their attention. It should be very short. It should be very, very crisp, right? The way I draft an email is that I tell them that this is the company I worked for in the past. This is the revenue they've been able to generate, or these are the number of leads they've been able to generate, so that that sales leader I'm sending it out to gets the message clear, crisp and clear, that this is how this guy or this company, LinkedIn Sales Solutions, can help me also. And then the fourth part is how you close the statement. The biggest mistake any salesperson who sends an email does is they never close the email very well. When you are closing out an email, you should always ask for an appointment. Give them a date and time and ask them, does this work for you? Does these times work for you? Right? Ask them. Till the time you don't ask him and you finish it in a generic way, they won't respond back. If you ask them, that shows them that you are serious, and uh, you will be able to derive value out of it. Three things extra which you should always keep in mind is that, first of all, be very, very genuine. Okay. You should always trust your judgment in terms of styles of languages that you use, right? Always be very authentic. For people who are selling into the United States market, there are customers who do the same for us. They tell me that for people in the United States market, their universities and colleges make a lot of difference. So if you find a person who's come from a certain university and you're able to get some news about that university, maybe their college football team doing very, very well or something about them, and you mention that on an email, the chances for you to get a response is much, much higher as compared to sending a generic email to them. If you don't get a response via email, you can send a traditional email to them if you have the email address, or you can also send a connection request to them and then send a LinkedIn message. It is completely fine if you follow up on the emails. People ask me that when we send an email, we don't get a response back and we give it up. That's not going to work. What's going to work is that you also follow up with that person if he has not responded back. Because at the time you sent an email to that person, he might have missed it or it might have skipped it. But if you follow up regularly with that person, the chance for you to get a meeting with them is higher. This is coming from my personal experience also, because many leaders I've sent out emails to don't respond on my first outreach straight away. But if I follow up in a certain manner, then I am able to get more emails responses, right? And you don't have to do hours and hours of research about a company or that person you're sending an email to. If you read their profile on LinkedIn.com, if you just glance through what this company does on LinkedIn or Sales Navigator, you will be able to find snippets of what you can use in your emails. But the key is how you personalize that email, how you are able to show the ROI on the email, how you have added value to the email, and how you close that email is very, very critical. If I scroll down, there are some examples of how you can draft these emails also. I'm just opening it up right now for any questions that you may have. I will be sharing all these documents with you so you can refer to these and start drafting your emails after that. If there are any questions, please feel free to ask me. Any questions from anyone?
No.
Do you see a difference in the format when it comes to reaching out to European companies and Asian companies versus US?
Yes, Jatin, we have seen a change in formats because, as you said, the US market responds in a different manner. The Asian market responds in a different manner. What I'm showing to you, it's specifically for the US market of how people are able to get responses in that. Even the Indian market behaves in a very different manner.
So we
But
would need to
we,
understand those idiosyncrasies across these different markets,
yeah,
because here people work on those different markets. So that's
sure.
very important to understand what works there specifically.
Yeah, sure. So which all territories do you go after, Jatin, or the team goes after?
Everywhere they will be going after markets in uh, Germany, France, Scandinavia, UK. They'll be going
Okay.
after markets in Vietnam, Indonesia, India, Sri Lanka.
Oh, okay. So it's a
That
global thing. Okay. Got it.
correct, correct.
Sure. Yeah. So I can pull out something. I can ask the product team to pull out some more information about emails. Yeah. But the basic structure, as I said, remains the same everywhere. But what you can use in those things can be a bit different. Like, as I said, in the US, people are very, very particular about the schools they've gone to the colleges they've gone to, and they have great pride in the alumni. So if you are able to get something out of it, the chances of you getting a response is much, much higher.
Sure. So I think we would need to have some light shed on the topic of format, messaging, response rates when it comes to Europe as well as Asia. So that's something that if you could send us all a note about, that'll be helpful to the team.
Sure, sure, absolutely. And I can share the response rate generically, how we see it across these markets, how the CIOs and CTOs
Okay.
respond to emails and all.
Why don't you send us this document? Why don't you share it with everyone in the group?
Yeah,
This
yeah, I'll do
document
that.
that you just sent. Yeah,
Yes,
you
yes,
could just share it. That
absolutely.
way you don't have to show it to us right now. Everyone can read it at their own time.
Correct, correct. I'll do that.
Yeah, that's point one. Point two is, Lokesh, you said you had tried InMails and you were not very successful. Maybe you could share those formats with Raghav, and he can then maybe see and
Yeah.
help potentially improve that, because there was not that much success in those that you guys were saying. So I think why not share that with him directly and say, this is what we did. We didn't achieve a lot of success with it. So what do you suggest?
Sure, sure. I will do that.
Yeah, please
Yeah.
do that, Lokesh. I would love to see those, and then I can advise you where you can improve.
And actually, Raghav, also I was looking for like maybe any source where I can find like different ways how in mails can be sent as you would be sending to us. It would be good that it can be based on market, and also if it can relate with the kind of business what we are doing. Even if it's not relating to the business, fine, but at least with the market, if something we can get an idea wherein multiple examples are there. So it will help us to kind of develop this, a way to write those in mails fluently by ourselves then.
Yeah, sure. I mean, see, there are many companies in India who are selling into these markets that you're selling from India and who are reaching out to the CIOs, CTOs, basically the IT bench. So I can pull out some report. I'll just need to speak to my team and see where we can customize it for you and send it to you.
No problem. And also I will share the content which I made specifically, and then maybe you can suggest me.
Yeah, done, done. And Lokesh, just having a look at what I've showed you, I'm sure you must have been able to see some difference of what you were sending and what I'm sharing with you.
Yes, saw that. Yeah, the closure thing you mentioned. This is something has been missing in some of them, but otherwise, it used to be pretty much similar. However, one thing I felt little bit not working, which was there in one of your examples, that if these in mails are too much formal, like congratulating someone and he's a stranger to you, sometimes
Mhm.
the person feels that I'm approaching him for some kind of sales, otherwise nobody just comes and with such kind of applauses and appreciation and those kind of things.
Okay, Lokesh, I'll tell you something. So that's the opposite way. So people generally tend to sell anyone. If someone comes and congratulates them, it's a rarity for these people also. Okay, someone is congratulating me for a promotion.
Okay, but yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I just
Yeah.
it,
Let's
it
figure out your emails.
yeah,
Let's see where we can improve them.
okay.
Yeah. Any other questions before I proceed to the Sales Navigator again?
No, I think you can carry on. And
Okay.
just share that document again. Huh? Don't forget to do that, please.
Yeah, yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. No
Yeah.
problem.
Okay.
I will quickly jump onto the Sales Navigator again. So this is how you can send out emails to the people that you intend to talk to. Now, let me show you a very unique feature
I
which
have a
I,
question in Sales Navigator in the
yes,
searches. Well, while actually you just open a filter, search filter.
okay.
Now the past lead activity and accounts activity, what I want to filter out. Now, from the searches, suppose I'm searching on a particular region, I like to filter out all those leads to whom I have already sent a connection request.
Okay.
But
Okay.
on this option, it's not actually happening because even if I say remove search leads from search, remove viewed lead from search, because I don't find any option where it says that the connection request which you have already sent to your leads will not be the not be the portion of your search result.
Mhm. So what you can do in this case is that when you are sending out any connection request to someone from Sales Navigator, that person actually gets automatically added to your saved leads. Okay. I'll show you how.
Yeah, that's okay. That's actually what happened, Raghav. I usually also had Sales Navigator earlier, but there has been a discontinuity for a month or two. So the leads which I have already sent the connection request, those are actually not the part of my save leads in this version.
In the new version. Yeah,
The new
because there was
version, right? Right.
the data did not get transferred because there
Yeah,
was a
yes, yes,
discontinuity.
yes, yes.
Okay, so sir, just send me. Let's connect after this call. Let me see what I can do. If I can pull out your data from your previous version also, let me try and do that. That can help you out.
Okay. Okay.
But what happens in this case, sir, when you are sending out a connection request to someone, let's say I'm trying to reach out to Eva, and I send a connect from here, right?
Yeah. Save as lead. Yes, that's
It automatically gets saved. Now,
right.
when I'm using that filter and I take this, okay, filter out people who are already saved from the list in the list, then it will
Right.
remove this
Then it
profile
will
also,
work. Right. Right.
right? But just connect with me offline, sir. Let me see what I can do with the previous data.
Sure.
I'm
Sure.
not sure, but let me try it.
Okay.
Okay, so there is one feature I wanted to cover specifically that has been added to your Sales Navigator now, and the people who have not experienced the Teams version of Sales Navigator, this is something new for you. Now, this is called the Smart Links feature. As a
Yeah,
salesperson,
Raghav.
yes, Shafan.
Yes, sorry to jump in. Since we are moving forward, a small query that I have is since we are talking about the connections,
Yeah.
in mails and sending in connection invitation. What do you recommend? Should we send the connection request first, or should we send an email first to our third degree connections?
Sir, you should always send out an email first because
Email
what
first.
happens, yes,
Okay.
I'll tell you what happens and how the algorithm or the psyche works of a person. Let's say
Mhm.
you send a connection request to me and I add it. What happens after half an hour? You send your sales pitch to me that this is what we do and this is why we should connect to you. As when I read that, I'll just totally ignore it that he just added with me to sell his product or service. Now, when you send out an email first, that is showing your authenticity that you want to do business with him. You're not trying to connect, but very official way you're trying to speak with him, right? Like the way you send an email to a person. So even if you send out an email, I don't reply back. You send me a follow up, I don't reply back. Then you add me as a connection on LinkedIn.com. Don't straight away send a sales pitch to me. Don't ever do that, sir. Wait few days. Try and engage with that person. If he's an active member of LinkedIn.com, try and like and comment on his post, and then start the engagement. That will give more credibility to you as a salesperson and your company.
All right. Okay. Thanks.
Right? Okay. So this feature is called Smart Links. Now, as a salesperson, we send out a lot of information to our prospects or customers about the services that you sell, right? A white paper, a brochure, or a proposal. You send it as a PDF or a PowerPoint or a Word document, but it is tough for you to see how much time is that person engaging with the content you have shared with him, or how much time did he really go through it. Sales Navigator has this unique feature called Smart Links, where you can upload all that material onto our server, create a URL out of it, and send that URL to that person on an email, on an in-mail, on a LinkedIn message, anything. The moment that person clicks on that URL and the amount of time he spends on that, you will get to know all the information about it, right? How? This is the new smart link. When you click on smart links, you will be able to see this tab on the right hand corner. When you click on new smart link, it will open up a side window. Let's say you're trying to send material about something. Okay. And you go over here, click on add files, and you update anything. Let's say I would update or upload this PDF document. I go over here, click on open, and will upload. The moment it will upload, this blue link will come to life. We'll just give it a few seconds till the time it uploads, and then I can show you. Yeah, it is done. This has come to this. I click on create smart link. Once it is done, it is sitting over here. I go over here and I click on copy link. The link has got copied to a clipboard. And now I can share this link to anybody that I want to on any platform. The moment that person or any other person who has got an access to this link sees this, you will be able to find their analytics like this over here. For example, I shared this proposal with a prospect Sagacious few days back, and there were 3 people who looked at the proposal I shared. If I have to access how much Tarun Kumar Bansal, who is the CEO of the company, looked at it, I can see. So Tarun had spent around 3 minutes on what I shared with him. There were 2 articles. If I see how much time he spent on each slide I shared with him, I can completely see that also. So on page 5 and page 6, we have the data. He spent the maximum time over there. So I get to know that he's really interested and he becomes a priority 1 account for me. So this is a very useful feature for people who are sending a lot of content to clients or prospects, and then you're able to see how they're engaging with your content. Any questions on this?
I think it's clear from everyone. No one seems to have questions. Please carry on.
Yeah. So this is a very, very useful feature, and people actually move from the online version to Teams version just because of this feature also, the Smart Link feature. So start using this feature and you will be able to get a better control of the deals you are in. Secondly, on this home screen, the people who you save as leads, the companies or the accounts you save as accounts, all the things that they're doing on linkedin.com, or if they're getting mentioned in the news or anything related to them is being published, all of that would be visible to your home screen. So it is important if you're trying to work with certain individuals and they are sharing some information about their work or whatever is happening with them, it is great for you to keep a look at this. For example, Bhavesh Jain, who is the manager of sales for an academy, he's recently shared something about the company culture or something on that. Now, for me to start an engagement with this person, what I can do is I can quickly like on his post and put a small comment on it, depending on what he shared. When we do this, the engagement starts happening. Bhavesh will start recalling my name, that Raghav is trying to engage with me, is liking my post, is commenting on my post, right? If I do like 2 to 3 times on his post and whatever he's sharing, when I send an email to that person, he would be able to remember me more as compared to sending out an email straight away without any context or engagement prior to it. So this is a great way how you can see how your users are or your customers are sharing content on the platform and then engage with them. So this is what I wanted to cover in today's session. Again, as I said, there will be more sessions that we'll be covering. My ask from you would be to start using this platform more and more. Try and use it, try and use the filters, create lists of leads and accounts, start engaging with them. And let's see after a couple of weeks where we are and where we need to tighten up a bit and all. Jatin, that's all from my end, sir. Anything that you would want to cover else?
That's fine as a starting point. I think I just before the next session, just the two outcomes that we discussed, which is distribution of that documents, and then Lokesh to connect with you and to show you what he's been doing where success has not been as high with the InMail. That's all.
Sure.
Maybe you
sure.
guys set up a time. Lokesh, you have Raghav's email and all that?
Yeah, I received an invite from him, so that's the only email ID I have.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot.
Right. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Yeah, Raghav, kindly share this this recording also.
Yes, sir, I'll do that.
Very well. Thanks.
Thanks,
Thank you
Raghav.
so much, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Raghav.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.